It's not even with Amazon's rules, right? It's like if you were gonna go drive down the street on the left-hand side with like on your cell phone with no seatbelt or anything like that.
In this video, I'm going to be addressing the topic, is selling name brand products via arbitrage on Amazon illegal? And is wholesale the actually only right way and legal way to sell name brand products? Now, the short answer is arbitrage is completely legal. But before I go ahead and get into those facts, I want to address a few things up front. So the whole reason why I'm making this video is because it's getting to the point where I'm getting messages 8 to 9 times a week asking me, is arbitrage illegal? Am I going to get my account suspended? And the short answer I tell them is no. And I ask them, where do you hear this information? Like, why do people keep messaging me this? And they say a YouTuber named Beau Crabill keeps saying this. So I want to say a couple of things is that I don't think Beau's a bad guy. I think I've watched his videos. He seems like a genuine guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems like a good guy. But that being said, I want to clear up some misinformation. And secondly is that even though I'm singling Beau out, this is an argument a lot of licensed distributors are saying, and I actually spoke with one at a trade show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to get into that conversation later on in the video. And last thing I want to say is this is not a video about arguing whether what business model's right, arbitrage or wholesale. To give you guys a little bit of background about me, I started with online arbitrage, but my business right now is about 60-40 wholesale arbitrage respectively. And that wholesale ratio is probably going to go up here in the next couple of months. So I wanted to say that as well. Now, before we actually get into the details of the argument, I think it's first best to explain what is actually wholesale and what is arbitrage. So arbitrage is where a retailer will purchase items to sell for a profit from other retailers or other institutions that have already bought from retailers. So to give you guys an example here, I'm an online retailer. That would be like me going to Walmart or Target or possibly garage sales or thrift stores, or maybe liquidation pallets that are returns from Walmart, and buying these and then selling these on Amazon for a profit. That is arbitrage. Now, wholesale is where an online retailer will buy from a manufacturer or distributor, and these manufacturers and distributors have the rights to sell these brands on Amazon, and they pass those rights to the online retailer. So I really want you guys to keep this piece of information in mind when I'm making my argument down the road is that they have the authority to pass that right to sell those name brand products. So when I'm making this argument in my head, I'm thinking, okay, how did Amazon start? And they started as a book company, right? So they started as selling used and new books. And to me, it just didn't make sense to have every third-party seller provide proof that they could sell every single book from every author, from every publisher. You would be submitting invoices all day. Now, I'm not saying I'm building my argument around this. I'm just thinking this is what made me want to do more research. So now let's go ahead and talk about how the gating system works on Amazon. When selling on Amazon, a seller will encounter gated categories and gated brands. And the way that you can get ungated in these categories and brands is by submitting invoices from authorized suppliers to sell these items, and then you will be allowed to legally sell these items. Now, when you buy from Walmart or Target, you can't submit receipts. Receipts do not work because these retailers do not have the authority to pass the right on to sell these particular brand name products. Only the authorized distributors and manufacturers. Now, this is where things get a little hairy and where I build my case is when an account starts establishing itself in the Amazon system in terms of length of time opened and dollar amount passed through, you can start getting ungated in certain brands without actually having to apply invoices or letters of authentication. And this could be different for every brand. So some brands, it's your account's been open for 3 months and you request approval and you automatically get ungated. Now, in this particular case study, and what I'm going to reference today is Nike. When your account reaches $100,000 in sales and you request approval, at least at the time of this video, and assuming your account's in good standing, you will then gain access to Nike to sell those items. This is where Beau and other distributors would say, that's not true. You cannot sell those items. And this is where I say, that's not true. That's false. So what I decided to do was I contacted Amazon. I spoke to customer support. And I got in touch with someone from the United States who's familiar with gating practices on the Amazon platform. And what he described to me was that each brand has a partnership with Amazon. And like I said, every brand is different, but basically in this particular case, Nike has an agreement with Amazon where when a seller has established $100,000 in sales and who knows what else it is, that third-party seller now has the right to sell those items. Amazon is passing those rights from them to the third-party seller, and it's acting as an invoice. That's the reason why the invoice isn't needed. It's the same as an invoice, and each brand is different. So there are some brands on Amazon that have an agreement to where it doesn't matter if you have sold $7 million worth of stuff, you will always have to submit invoices, and that will be the only thing that will suffice. There are even some brands, they aren't even accepting applications. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I wanted to hear, so that's great. I was like, okay, that adds to my argument, but I want to hear what Nike has to say. What's Nike's side of the story? So I call up customer support at Nike. They transfer me to corporate. They then transfer me to another department, and I speak with this head of department. And to summarize what he said the exact same thing the Amazon representative said. Now, there are a couple of stipulations I wanted to add. He said that they do not advocate this, so they can't really support this. And they also said that if there's anything wrong with those Nike shoes, that the customer who bought from that third-party seller who got access via Amazon, basically the customer won't be able to do anything about it. Now, obviously, anyone who's sold on Amazon knows that the Amazon covers their customers better than any other marketplace out there. So, I mean, the customer's still in good hands. Now, I want to reference a point that I spoke with a distributor at a trade show I was at a couple of weeks ago, and he was selling some Nike, Adidas, Converse, all these big name brand shoes. And I go up to him and I tell him, we're talking, and he asks, do you sell online? And I tell him, yeah, that's primarily where I'm selling right now. And he told me, if you sell these shoes online, because I make you sign an agreement, not only will I sue you, but the name brand of the shoes will sue you as well. So I want to clarify a few things here. Now, this is where he's a little confused in terms of, if you already have access to sell those particular brands of products from that supplier, you can sell them and the brand cannot sue you. However, if you sign an agreement with a distributor or with a manufacturer to not sell online and you do sell those shoes, not only will the distributor cut you off, but they'll probably sue you. So I'm not advocating that, and I wanted to clarify that. So I've made my points. That's great, but now you're saying, okay, Kris, why are accounts still getting suspended if arbitrage is 100% legal? Like, what's going on here? Now, there's 3 reasons why an account on Amazon will get suspended. And it all has to do really, I think, with the buyer and not arbitrage as a whole, as a process. So I think the fault needs to go on the actual individual and not the system. So I'm going to give you guys 3 instances here. First instance is when a seller is using a third-party system to list a product that bypasses the gating process altogether. So normally when you go to list a product on Amazon and it's gated, you cannot list it. It won't even let you list it. However, there are services like Inventory Labs where it will allow you to skip this and it will allow you to add that gated product to your shipment, send it into Amazon, and then you have a gated product that you're not supposed to be selling in Amazon's warehouse. Flags will be raised. They'll temporarily ban your account until you provide invoices. And obviously, if it's arbitrage, you're not going to have invoices to provide. Reason number 2 why an account will get suspended is, let's say you got ungated with one of those brands. Not only did you meet the selling requirements, but you had good selling metrics. Now, selling metrics include, return rate, reviews, all of that kind of internal stuff that keeps an account in good health. And what could happen here is that an account could fall below that certain threshold when they got approved at this threshold, and it raises some flags in Amazon's system to where, let's see if this guy's actually, selling the right stuff. They'll ask for invoices. That will get your account banned. Now, the last reason an account will get banned is the suspicion of counterfeit goods. This is why when I talked to the Amazon representative, he did say it's always good to have invoices of whatever you're selling on Amazon. And obviously, if you can get invoices for whatever you're buying, that is the way to go. But to say a business model is completely illegal just because you don't have invoices, I think is just a bit too much. So I'm going to go ahead and close on this closing fact, guys, is that when you hear something online, you should always question everything. Ask yourself, what biases are present? Is someone saying this just because they want you to buy a 4-figure course? What's going on here? And that's even with this video, ask yourself, what are my biases? Do more research. I highly encourage you to do it. Pick a different brand. Do the exact same thing I did. Maybe pick Samsung or Apple or something like that. Do your own research. And I'll just end with this is, what do you guys think? Is arbitrage on Amazon illegal? Is it bad selling practices? Let me know your thoughts in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. You can also find me in the free Facebook group in the description below. And I also left a link to Beau's channel in the comments section below. See you guys next time.